his name is babashuaib. So babashuaib is originally from Ghana. He is now based in Europe. He's a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion who is a Muslim. He does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran alone on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube and recently TikTok. He has a background in MSA and Classical Arabic, and he has translated the Great Quran with transliteration 2021 edition and is the author of Refer to the Quran Volume 1. Brother, his name is babashuaib. So babashuaib is originally from Ghana. He is now based in Europe. He's a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion who is a Muslim. He does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran alone on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube and recently TikTok. He has a background in MSA and Classical Arabic, and he has translated the Great Quran with transliteration 2021 edition and is the author of Refer to the Quran Volume 1. Brother, his name is babashuaib. So babashuaib is originally from Ghana. He is now based in Europe. He's a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion who is a Muslim. He does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran alone on platforms such as Facebook and YouTube and recently TikTok. He has a background in MSA and Classical Arabic, and he has translated the Great Quran with transliteration 2021 edition and is the author of Refer to the Quran Volume 1. Brother.
Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Peace be upon you all. Thank you all for coming. I seek refuge with Allah against the accursed devil. This is my way I invite to Allah by perception, I and whoever follows me, and glory be to God, Allah, for I am not among the idolaters, that's the mushriks. So thank you all for coming. Actually, I was supposed to go on TikTok, was it 2 days ago? But due to some, inconveniences, I decided, okay, let me just take some time off. Yeah, Alma Johnson. Yeah, there's a match, right? Okay. So I just decided to take some time off and recover in a good shape to be able. So I'm at a recovery zone. I think I'm about 80% recovered. Because due to the fasting, the abstinence, I wasn't able to be taking my medication in the mornings, like in the daytime, right? So I've been taking it only in the nighttime. So it made my recovery rate very slow, right? So now that, Alhamdulillah, the Siyam has ended for the past 2 days, I've been taking the medication in the morning. So it seems now my voice is coming back, right? So I'm almost there, inshallah. So thank you all for coming. Your presence helped a lot. I appreciate your presence and thank you for the support and duas you all gave me. I also remember you in my duas as well. So vice versa thing. So inshallah, we all move together. So let me see some of the names I see here. Mumadi Pedro, he's the first person to to be present. He says, Salam, waiting for the correctional officer. The new profile is great. Thank you. I appreciate that. With the help of one amazing brother, Brother Mohammed, based in Canada. I cherish that brother, so much. With the help of him, I was able to get the logo, everything. It's more than I could ask for, So we all pray for God to make our life easy, and easy can only come from God through other people, right? They can give you ease as well. So I appreciate that a lot. And thank you also for patronizing what I present to you, right? So we have Isa Khan. He says, Salam, love the live streams. Thank you. You're welcome as well. We have Tawfiq Ibrahim, Alma Johnson, Sister Alma Johnson, peace be upon you. We have Baba Seidu Salam, Shazma, We have Abu Thomas, Nikoti Jani, Balogun, Olayinka, Fatima Chin, Kim Faris, Kudisiya Ibrahim, Salis Jimmy, I see you. Salam, Omar Abalambu, I see you all. Thank you all for coming, right? As I said, I was supposed to do TikTok live 2 days ago, but due to some inconveniences, I wasn't able to go online. So I decided, okay, today shouldn't be a day I miss. And thanks to God, alhamdulillah, I'm healthy. I'm here. I would say I'm there. And we move on with the topic of today, which is the Eid or no Eid. Is there any Eid in Islam or no Eid at all, right? Is there any problem when people say Eid Mubarak? Do people actually understand the notion behind Eid Mubarak when people say Eid Mubarak? Do they understand it? Where did this emanate from? Or where's the concept of Eid? Where does it come from, right? So we are going to understand that. Is it okay to celebrate Eid? We are going to understand that, right? So thank you for coming. After giving the shout outs, I might not be able to say salam to anybody again because I have to delve into the topic, right? So after I give the shout outs, I say salam to you. That is it. I go on a beast mode, which is the lecture mode. Till when I'm done, I'll give you the chance to ask me the questions, the relevant questions pertaining to the topic at hand. If I want you to ask me off topic, fine. But pertaining to the topic at hand, you can ask me questions as when I'm done. And again, I'll put the phone number where you can call me via WhatsApp, right? And if you are interested in joining as a live stream, I'll put the link later on where you can come as a guest if you're willing to come. Yes. And let's see what happens, inshallah, right? By the way, this is the Great Quran. That's a hardcover. That's a hard copy, right? The Great Quran here. That's a hardcover. It's up for grabs, and during Ramadan, I've had people, of course, who actually ordered this and off, out of Ramadan also. But it's a reminder that this is available, and we have it on PayHip. Let me see if I can put the banner somewhere here. You can get it on www.payhip.com/Natsal Enterprise. It's available there. It ships all over the world. I have a plan to actually go to Africa this year, but I don't want to actually, talk about that till I've gotten things in place. So there will be distribution of it in Ghana and maybe Nigeria as well, right? So I'll give you the details to that as time goes on, inshallah. But for those who are based in overseas, you can have it. You can try to order it from that source. And also it's written based on Globish English. So Globish means you can, like, whether you are from America, Australia, UK, it's accessible. You can read it. Based in Nigeria, Ghana, this is the English is a Globish English. So you can access it, you can read it, you can understand it as the best you can, inshallah. So this is just to aid you to be able to access the Quran and to take that notion of thinking that the Quran is an Arabic language, so let me stay away from it. It's just for the Arabs. No, like, stay away from that thought, right? Quran is accessible. It's a guidance for mankind, not guidance for the Arabs alone or exclusively. No. So try to approach the book. I've had Christians, even atheists, who actually ordered the copy, and so far so good. The compliment from them is good, right? So it means they are getting along. In order to reject something, try to grasp the knowledge thereof, right? Try to grasp the knowledge. This inspiration comes from Quran chapter 10, verse 39. Where he says, بَلْ كَذَّبُوا بِمَا لَمْ يُحِيطُوا بِعِلْمِهِ وَلَمَّا يَأْتِيهِمْ تَأْوِيلُهُ كَذَلِكَ كَذَّبَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَانظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الظَّالِمِينَ. So they have denied what they have not encompassed its knowledge, and its interpretation has not yet come to them. We have people who reject something or deny something without actually reflecting, contemplating, or assessing that thing in its capacity. They will just reject it, like, straightforward, right? So it's good to assess something before you pass on judgment. Make sure you grasp the knowledge of it. Have some information about it. You might not know 100% about it, but try to have some information about whatever it is before you reject it, right? Instead of just staying somewhere and say, oh, no, because this is an Arabic language, I hate it. Oh, because this is now talking about God. No. Try to read before you pass on judgment. So yeah, thank you once again. So let's move on with the topic, inshallah. Yes. Salam Tika, salam Musaddiq Jibril, salam Ajayi, salam Prince Hazer, Abubakar Jalil, Musa Arabago. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. Now it's enough. So let's go. Right? Let's go to the topic. Yes. So when we say Eid, Eid is an Arabic word, right? You find it also in the Quran. It's in the Quran, and I'll be sharing the screen as time goes on. Also, you get to see the verses at hand. So Eid is an Arabic word. Yeah. Eid is an Arabic word. You find it in Quran chapter 5, verse 114, Surah Al-Ma'idah, right? And when we say Eid or Eid, we are talking about a feast, right? A feast. Now, what people don't understand here is some people might not understand that it's an Arabic word. They think it's just an English word or something. Just like the word Islam. Islam actually is not an English word, right? It is an Arabic word, but people have, however, Romanized it, right? In a Latin way, just to pronounce it Islam. Or the word Muslim is not also an English word. It's an Arabic word. But people have actually Romanized it and modernized it to sound like if you say Muslim, it's an English word. It's not. And so similarly goes to the word Eid. So many a times you hear people say EID Mubarak, right? The word Mubarak is like we say a blessed, like something which is a blessing, right? So it comes from the word barak, baraka. Baraka means bless, right? As a verb, baraka. That is the root word, baraka. So when we say Mubarak, it is to associate it as an adjective with something which has been blessed or which is a blessed thing. So if you, for instance, if you go to Quran chapter 38, verse 29, where God says, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun, that it is a book which we have revealed to you, which is blessed, right? Blessed. So when we say Eid Mubarak, is to signify that the Eid, the feast, is a blessed feast. That, however, this comes from people. You will never find the word Eid Mubarak in the Quran. So it's just like a farewell or a wishful type of, wishing somebody. Like the way we say happy birthday or a blessed something, right? So we say Eid Mubarak is to just show like your greetings to somebody. And there's nothing wrong with saying Eid Mubarak. It's just understanding what Eid is. Eid is a feast. And then Mubarak means blessed Eid, right? Blessed feast. That's what it means. So somebody says Eid Mubarak, you say Eid Mubarak. Nothing wrong with that, right? However, people would like to know, is the concept of Eid itself, is it haram? The notion is, no, it is not haram. But I'll be giving you evidences, relevant informations where you can access for yourself and then draw your own conclusions at the end of the day, inshallah. Yeah. So when we say Eid as a feast, it's a ceremonial dinner party for many people. That is one of the meanings. A second meaning, we can say something experienced with great delight, like joy. You'll be, showing your delight to it. Then we have the notion of an elaborate party, often made outdoors. Just like you see outdoors, people as merrymaking, celebrating something, outdoor party, enjoying the feast, which is also another meaning of the word Eid. Or we can just limit it to say a meal that is well prepared and greatly enjoyed by people. That is also a feast. So that is Eid. It all comes under Eid. So that is Eid. So understanding why people say Eid al-Fitr. When they say Eid al-Fitr, like I just said, Eid is a feast, right? So Eid al-Fitr, when we say Fitr, Fitr is the word which has to do with to break fast, like in the morning, like when people eat is breakfast, right? So when we say Eid al-Fitr, it's just to signify, it's an Arabic, they are Arabic words, right? Just to signify the breaking of the what? Breakfast, breaking fast, feast of the breaking fast. So it is a feast people will enjoy to signify that they are breaking the fast. You understand? So the word, Fitr is breakfast, right? So they use that to signify that they are breaking the fast. And that's why people celebrate, they merry-make, they eat, they enjoy whatever they want to enjoy. And then you get to see the notion of an Eid going on or a feast going on. So like I said, if you go to Quran chapter 5, verse 114, the word Eid, and I'll be sharing the screen, so we'll be seeing some of the verses. So let's see where this concept emanated. But however, in the Quran, you will never find a word called the two words combined saying Eid al-Fitr. It's not there. Or to find the word Eid al-Adha, it's not there. People, invented such concepts, right? So delving into the topic, I'll be showing you the concept of Eid according to the Quran and how it is. Are we supposed to celebrate it or not? We are going to delve into it. So first of all, let me quote chapter 5, verse 112 to 114. And let's see, right? Yeah. So I will share the screen. Yeah. I will share the screen and let's see. Oh, sorry. I go here. 112. And then let's see on the screen. Oh, what's wrong here? Just a minute. I think something just went wrong here. Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to open something and it interrupted. So sorry about that. Yeah, I muted the mic because I was trying to fix something. So sorry about that, right? So now since you can see the screen, right? And I hope you can see it clearly enough so that if you don't see it clearly enough, let me know. I can maximize it that people can see the text clearly. That if you cannot see it clear enough. So can you let me know by text, like by the comment section, if you can see the text clear enough, right? Because I want you to keep up when I'm reading, so you see what I'm saying. So even if I made a slip up, you can see for yourself, right? Okay, so somebody says I should make it bold. Let's try and see here. I try to make it bold a bit. So I take it to, let's say, 400. Is it good enough? This should be okay. Yeah, this is good, right? So now we start from chapter 5, verse 112, right? Now it says, then the disciples said, O Isa, that is Jesus, son of what? Maryam, that is Mary, can your Lord be able to send down a dining, right? A dining to us from the sky? He, Isa, said, beware of God. That is, you have to fear God, reference God. That is the word taqullah, right? Taqullah. Then he says, if you should be believers, right? So this is the verse in Arabic, right? And this is from the Great Quran. For those who have the PDF version, it's accessible. You can have it. The free copies are there. For those who want to like buy it online too, it's there on Google Playbook. And you can get it on the website. I put down the link there. You can get it, right? So he says, Is qala hawariyuna ya Isa ibn Maryam hal yastati'u rabbuka an yunazzila alayna ma'idatan. Then he says what? Coming from the what? Sky. Minas samai. Then Isa said what? Qala taqullaha in kuntum mu'minin. So you should fear God or reference God or beware of God if you should be believers. So this is the response going on. So 113, they said, we want to eat from it, right? They want to eat from the Ma'idah, which is the dining they are asking for, from it and reassure our hearts, kulubuna. They want to reassure their hearts. And to know that you, Isa, have been what? Truthful to us. And be among the witnesses to it. So now, when you're reading from the Great Quran, you see that some instances I underline certain words and I say pay attention. If you check from the appendix on the last column of the page, it explains to you why I underline certain notions of words, because it can derive a topic of discussion there. That's why I underline them. So you, the reader, when you are reading and reflecting, you can be able to, picture things. You can take a dictionary, make a reference. That is why I underline it, to draw your attention. So pay attention to such words. So they will be witnesses of something they can see with their eyes, right? So that is a witness. Something you can see and testify for yourself. Who is a witness? A witness is somebody who observes an event and report it because you were there. So you can bear witness to something, right? So among the witnesses to it, that is their claim. So that they can be assured of who Isa is, Jesus himself, if he actually have a direct contact with God, right? So now, when you go to 114 in chapter 5, Jesus, that is Isa, the son of Maryam, said, Allahumma, that is to say, oh God. Instead of saying, Ya Allah, we don't say Ya Allah. This is disrespectful, right? If you don't know, I'm telling you today. Throughout the Quran, you will never see any messenger or prophet of God or any servant of God calling on God and saying, Ya Allah. The word Ya is meant for your colleagues, your human beings, people like you, right? Ya Muhammad or Ya Nabi. You call Ya Shu'aib, you call each other Ya. So imagine the way you call each other, you want to use the same formalities to call on God, right? So this is why in the Quran, you see the notion of prophets, messengers, prominent people calling on God as Allahumma. The ma at the end is to signify respect to the name of God. So what you see there is you see Allahu. As you see here, you see Allahu. Then you see the ma at the end. So Allahu, that's Allah, the name of God itself. So the ma is to signify the sign of respect you add to his name, right? Instead of saying Ya Allah. So I don't advise people to be using Ya Allah. No. No. Right? We are taking examples from the Quran chapter 4 verse 26. The examples God give you is to clarify things to you so that to guide you by the examples of those before you. So if you don't see any prophet using Ya Allah or messenger, why are you using it? For instance, when people like to use the word Ameen, well, after making the supplication, they say Ameen. I would advise you not to do something you don't have knowledge about. Quran chapter 17, verse 36. وَلَا تَخَفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. Do not pursue that of which you have no knowledge. You don't have knowledge about something, don't do it. Ask questions. If they don't give you the right answers, then refrain from it. If they give you right answers, investigate for yourself before you take on these kind of things, right? So somebody might say, okay, brother, when somebody makes a dua, what should I say then? Sorry, the light is getting so bright in my eyes. When somebody makes a dua, what should I say? You can say, Inshallah, if God wills, because any dua somebody makes, it will only take the will of God for the dua to come into effect, right? And the reason why I'm saying say Inshallah, you can take that as an example from Quran chapter 28, verse 24, 25, 26 to 27. When Musa went to Midian to get married, like the father of the two ladies he Musa met, when they made an agreement and they called God as a witness, you hear the word Inshallah. So the Inshallah is to bring to fruition that God, if God accepts it, this is how it will go. So that signifies, like, if somebody is also doing a supplication for you, I recommend you use the word Inshallah, because that's what I do, right? Okay, so coming back to the verse, Jesus, the son of Maryam, said, "O God, our Lord, send down a dining to us." Right? Now, the reason why you see me putting into bracket the table, right? When you go to the dining table and there's a full of food and everything, we can call it the table. We can just say table, right? It is allowed grammatically. You can say table. So you can either say dining table or table, but it doesn't mean God is sending a table like the 4 square table you see in the kitchen. It's not the one God was sending from the sky. It is actually dining food that they are going to eat. So the verses are clear enough. We are going to see the concept of what? The Eid. So a dining to us from the sky, to be a feast, Eden. The word Eid, this is where you find it. To become a feast, right? Something a meal people can sit down together and enjoy, right? So, and you also saw from 112 the reason why they have Eid. It is the people, the Hawariyun, that is the disciples of Isa. They are the ones asking for this. So it wasn't as if God already legislated it for us, like assigned it there, and then he said, "Oh, Ibrahim never did this Eid al-Fitr." This kind of Eid. No. So it was the time of Isa, the Hawariyun, the disciples, actually asked for it. So now it says to serve as a feast. So I gave you the meaning of a feast, right? So let me see. I can even put it here so people can see it on the screen. Oh, no need. Okay, yeah, let's see. Yeah, no need. Okay, let me just go on because it will slow my program here. So let me focus. So a feast for us, for the first of us. Listen carefully. Now, this point is very, very essential to the claim I'm going to make here. So this Eid is to serve as a sign for the first of us, those requesting for that Eid among the people of Isa, right? So for the first of us, awalina, and he says what? And the last of us, that is akhirina. And as a sign, a miracle from you, God, right? So provide for us, for you are the best of providers. Now, this was Isa making this supplication. So God answered the supplication, and in 115, chapter 5, verse 115, he, God, that is Allah, said, "Indeed, I am sending it down to you." That is, he's sending the what? The feast, right? He's sending the dining, the Ma'idah, down. So food is coming, right? I'm sending it down to you. But whoever among you disbelieves afterwards, because it is a miracle, right? Then indeed, I will punish him with a punishment which no one has been punished among the worlds. So meaning nobody has ever been punished like that. After asking for something and you see it clearly as a miracle, you are witnesses to it, and you even give a word for it that if you should see it, you bear witness, and then you will be of the what? Submitters to God. So now God has done it to them. So we can see the people of Isa alayhi salam, they were the ones who asked for the Eid, and God answered their prayer. So the Eid was for first of them and last of them. It wasn't to be for later generations. Bear in mind. That Eid wasn't, Isa didn't ask for that Eid to be for the later generations. It is for the first of them and last of them. So all the people at that time will get to enjoy the Eid or the Ma'idah. However, away from that, is it wrong to say, like, somebody will say, oh, that means can't we celebrate Eid? Eid on its own is not haram. It's not forbidden, right? Eid, feast, having a feast on its own is not haram. God didn't forbid that. No. If it was haram, I wouldn't see the notion why Isa even will supplicate for it, for him to even have his prayers answered if Eid was haram. But however, what is the notion of Eid al-Fitr? Is it haram? Now, Eid al-Fitr is a concept coming from the Hadith books. It didn't emanate from the Quran. This is what you have to pay attention. So any legislation you are following in Islam, if it has been imposed on you to follow, think twice if it's not coming from the Quran. Now, the reason why I'm saying that, let me give you this verse. Quran chapter 42, verse 21. That is in Surah Shura, right? And I share the screen. Let's see this verse before I make the next claim I'm trying to talk about, right? Oh, why is this doing that? Okay, the next claim. This verse in Quran chapter 42, verse 21, it says, or do they have associates? We can say idols, right? Non-literally, the word shuraka, it means, non-literally, it means idols, right? Literally, it can mean associates or partners, right? But in this concept or in this context, it is referring to the idols, right? Or do they have associates or idols who have legislated for them here of a religion, a deed to which God has not authorized? And that's a question mark here. And if not for the decisive word, he would have what? Judged between them. Indeed, the transgressors will have a painful punishment. That is Surah Shura, Quran chapter 42, verse 21. Where God is asking, Am lahum shuraka shara'u lahum min ad-din ma lam yazanu bihillah, right? So do they have idols who have legislated for them of a deed to which God has not authorized? So they give you legislations, right? So now, what people don't seem to comprehend or understand is you actually putting the concept of Eid al-Fitr in Islam. People will tell you, we have two festivals in Islam, and those are Eid al-Fitr and Eid al-Adha, right? Where does it come from? Islam? No. Islam is only from God. And when we say Islam, we are talking about total submission to God. That is al-Islam, right? So unless if you say in your version of Islam that you have created, yes, maybe in the Sunni, Shia, Sufi, whatever you created for yourself, fine. Eid al-Fitr. And according to the own scholars, they will say it's a nafila. When we say nafila, something which is just a bonus or a superfluous, right? That's nafila. So if it is a nafila, you don't need to compel the people or force the people to go to such events, right? Yeah. So now coming back to the points I was giving earlier, let's see here. Yeah. So I'm going to share a particular hadith, which is in Sahih al-Bukhari. Let me put it on this here. Yeah, I'll put it on the screen so people can see it clearly. Yep. And I have this PDF of this controversial hadith, the most popular controversial hadith narrations, right? I made a PDF. Whoever needs it for free, I can send it to you for free. You can ask me through my correctional officer's number. I will send you the copy. A PDF copy is free of charge. You can have it. So I'm going to share this screen, and then we see what is being said in this hadith, particular hadith, right? So this hadith says, it is narrated by what? Al-Bara concerning Eid, right? He says, I heard the Prophet, peace be upon him, delivering a khutbah. When we say khutbah, we are talking about a public address. It's like a speech, to deliver a speech, right? Within the people, like you see, they do in their Friday prayers and whatever they invented for themselves. That's khutbah. So he was delivering a sermon or a speech. The first thing to be done on this day, right? That is, Al-Bara is saying that the Prophet is saying, right? The first thing to be done on this day of Eid al-Adha is to pray. So they can say Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr, right? So the day of Eid. And after returning from the prayer, we slaughter our sacrifices in the name of God, Allah, and whoever does so, he acted according to our sunnah. Now, this is what I wanted you to see here. It says he acted according to our sunnah. So this, according to this hadith, this is the Prophet saying this statement. So that the Prophet used the word our sunnah. So whose sunnah? So because if it's the sunnah to Allah, we can find it in the Quran, right? Okay. So if the Prophet is saying our sunnah, where should we find the sunnah? It should be in the Quran, right? Fine. We do see animal sacrifice in the Quran. So if that is still classified as sunnatullah, fine, we find it there. But when he said our sunnah, he and who? He, the Prophet, and who? Whose sunnah? As far as sunnah is concerned, the sunnatullah is what we need. That is what God ordained for the prophets. So let me share the verse and let's see. So in Quran chapter 38, Quran chapter 33, verse 38, right? Yeah. So I can share the screen. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah. So Quran chapter 33, verse 38, there is no guilt upon the prophet concerning what God has ordained for him. Concerning what God has ordained for him. That is faradallahu lahu. If God ordains something for the prophet, we can find it in the Quran. And when God has ordained it, we call it what? Such is the tradition of God or the norm of God, which is sunnatullahi, right? We call it sunnatullahi. Then he says what? Among those who passed before. So it didn't start with the prophet. It wasn't only Prophet Muhammad. God ordained something for him. So whatever God ordained for the prophet to do is what we call sunnatullah or sunnatullahi. It is not the sunnatul nabi. And the command of God is a decreed fate. Qadara magdura. When God commands something, you have to do it. You don't do it, you are guilty. Right? So when we say sunnatullah, God doesn't share his sunnah with somebody. Neither does he say that is our sunnah. No. God is talking about his sunnah, which is sunnatullah, when he ordains something for the prophet, right? That becomes sunnah. It doesn't become sunnah to Muhammad or sunnah to Nabi. So get that right, right? So based on the hadith I was sharing earlier on, for the reference of that, I'm going to give you the reference, which is in Sahih al-Bukhari. It is found in Sahih al-Bukhari, 951. Yeah, 951. And then in book reference, book number 13, hadith number 3, right? You find it there. So in this hadith, it talks about, it says our sunnah. And one of the reasons why I brought you to the hadith is they say that the Prophet was delivering a sermon or a khutbah, that is a speech, and he says the first thing to be done on this day, the first day of Eid al-Adha, which is another Eid they celebrate after this, the Eid, another Eid for the animal sacrifice coming, is to pray. They said the first day you have to go to pray. So we see this prayer emanated from what? The hadith books. You don't see that concept of prayer in the Quran. However, if people say the prayer is also part of Islam, are you saying the 5 prayers, according to you, the 5 prayers the Prophet went to the sky to go and bring, was the Salat al-Eid? Is it part of it? The Eid al-Fitr, the Salat you're going to do today or yesterday, was it part of this? Was it part of the 5 prayers he went to bring? How about Salat al-Janaza or Salat al-Jumu'ah? Was it part of the 5 Salat you claim the Prophet went to the sky to bring? Was it part of it? I don't think you're thinking about that very well, right? So now he says to pray, and after returning from the prayer, we slaughter our sacrifices in the name of God, in the name of Allah. And whoever does so, he acted according to our sunnah. So that's what I wanted to see. There's a problem with this. There's a question mark, right? We go to the next questionable hadith, right? So I'm going to put it inside here, which is narrated by Sayyid al-Khudr. So Sayyid al-Khudr narrated Abu Sayyid al-Khudr. That is another hadith concerning Eid. He says, once Allah's messenger went out to the musalla. When we say musalla, a place of prayer, or we can say, is it oratory? Oratory is like a small place of prayer, right? Of Eid al-Adha or al-Fitr. You see, look at the hadith. You are quoting, you're telling us a story, but then you which are not happening the same time, or which are not even the same. So Salat al-Eid, according to them, Salat al-Eid al-Adha is different from Eid al-Fitr. So now, according to this narrator, Sayyid al-Khudr, he's saying that the messenger of God went out to the Musalla of Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. So which one did he go? Okay. Then he passed by the women and said, now this is how hadith is going to degrade the women. So listen carefully. The hadith books are going to degrade you. The hadith books, they have been degrading you for a long time even. Most of you don't read it and they study it to know what the hadith book says about women, right? So that is why in other countries which are the so-called indoctrinated version of Islam, or the man-made version of Islam, they try to make women like, subservient. Like they try to let women be as if one thing I can say that this is why people misunderstand being submissive. They make women be like, if at least like very low, right? So then he passed by the women and said, oh women, give charity or give alms, as I have seen that majority of the dwellers of hellfire were you women. So the prophet saw that. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. So the hadith is claiming the prophet saw that. He says he have seen that the majority of the dwellers of the hellfire are what? Are you women. So if it says you women, and you say the majority of the dwellers of the hellfire are women, why are you telling them to give alms? Because if eventually the majority of them are going to hell, they should give charity to do what? To change what you have seen? How? Because if he said he has seen them, which means it has to happen. Just like Yusuf alayhi salam, when the 2 prisoners came to him to explain their dreams, he explained it and told them what will happen, right? Because God has shown him like a vision, so it should come to pass. If there is anything to change it, he could have told the other prisoner who the birds were eating the bread from his head. He could have told him, this is what we have to do to change that, right? So now according to this hadith, he's telling the women that most of them will go to hell. And he's telling them, you. He is not even saying other women or something, you women. So they ask, why is it so? They're asking him. So, oh, Allah's messenger, Then he replied, you curse frequently. Now, this is the hadith degrading you women. Listen carefully. He says, you women curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands. Oh, why is it? And are ungrateful to your husbands. And he says, I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you. Wow. And he says, a cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you. If somebody is listen carefully. He says, I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence. So if you are saying the women have deficiency in intelligence, how come she can mislead or she can send somebody, a man who is cautious, sensible? How can she send her astray? Because look, I don't know if you know about scammers, but for those in Africa, a lot of you know about scammers. When I talk about scammers, like the fraudsters who actually try to pretend what they are not, and then speak to people overseas in the Western world, convince them that, oh, I love you, I'm a woman, and then they dupe them, they take all their money and wealth away, right? In order to be able to dupe somebody, to trick somebody, you have to be about 2 or 3 times smarter than such a person. Do you get my point? If somebody is smarter than you, you can't trick him. And that is why we as parents, when our kids are lying to us, we laugh. We know. We've been there before, right? Your kid can only outsmart you if you, the parents, is or are dumb. That's where a kid can outsmart you. So which means your kid is twice smarter than you. But the point is, if this hadith is telling us that I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence, that's an insult to women. And again, and religion than you, that is another insult to women. That is the hadith books telling this. I don't agree Prophet said this, right? So let's exonerate him from that. A cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you, the women. So the women asked, oh, God's messenger, what is deficiency, or what is the deficient in our intelligence and religion? He said, is not the evidence of 2 women equal to witness of 1 man? Where did God say that? Is it they are trying to tell us that the Quran chapter 2 verse 282, did God say the witness of 2 women is actually equal to 1 man? God said that? No. He never said that. I spoke about this some days ago or some couple of weeks ago, right? Somebody asked me this question and I shared it in one of my WhatsApp groups, right? God never said. He said, is not the evidence of 2 women equal to the witness of 1 man? They replied in the affirmative. That's wrong. They replied, how? You are the prophet. You are supposed to know and teach them and give them the references. Where? And that's a lie, by the way. He said, this is the deficiency in her intelligence. Look at the stupidity here in these garbage books. And these are the books when you are waking people up to reason, they think you are rather against the prophet or against Islam because people are stupid anyway. So this is the deficiency in her intelligence. So with this deficiency, according to this hadith, is telling us this is how women come, because they can send a sensible man astray. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her menses? Look at this stupid hadith again. This hadith make the prophet as if somebody who is ignorant, now asking the women such questions. Where did God say such things? Where? In which book? Neither pray nor fast during her menses. The women replied in the affirmative. He said, this is the deficiency in her religion. Subhanallah. Reference Sahih al-Bukhari, right? 304. In book reference, book number 6, hadith number 9. Now enough with this garbage. Let's go. Hi, why is everybody? Now, yeah. Now, this is the problem with such narrations and such hadith books, that most people out there, you don't read these books, you don't study these books, so you don't know what is being said. And look, to surprise you more, most of the scholars or imams, when they are quoting this hadith, they make it so sweet to hear. So you will never even see the deficiency in that hadith. So you might think, oh, since it's a prominent imam or scholar or an Arab speaking this, oh, it might be sound hadith. So when you are talking to a layman who claims hadith is the epitome of Islam, he will tell you, oh, my sheikh, because he's picturing his imam, or he's trying to vivid mentally imagination of his imam, that the imam was even using such hadith in the mosque. So he think, wow, this is part of Islam. But when you put them one-on-one and you want to reason with them, like the ones who tell you that the goat or the sheep has eaten the page of the Quran, meaning when the verse of stoning or whatever they claim was, or a breastfeeding, like a matured woman who breastfeed men, also they claim the goat or the sheep ate it. Such things, when you are talking to a layman, he doesn't see what is wrong with that, right? Because the mind has been blocked from using rationality. Just as is said in Quran chapter 70, verse 45 to verse 46, where God says, وَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ جَعَلْنَا بَيْنَكَ وَبَيْنَ الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْآخِرَةِ حِجَابًا مَسْتُورًا. So there's a concealed partition between you and such a person when you read the Quran to them. Then God says, وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَنْ يَفْقَهُوا وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا. So on their hearts there's a covering, and their ears there's a deafness in their ears. So when the person's heart is covered and the ears have deafness, whatever you are saying or reading from the verses of the Quran, they cannot hear you. They don't hear. So that is why when you see me talking to most of them in the correctional officers, then it is as if I'm talking to, excuse me to say, I'm talking to a baby, because how can a baby comprehend what I'm trying to say? And yeah, that's what you have. Anyways, so we move on. So I just quoted these two hadiths to just show you the reference point of this hadith narrations concerning the Eid. And you can see the problem in their hadith books, right? It's nonsensical, seriously. Not anybody in his right senses or right frame of mind who sit down to access the hadith books will put it to the trash. I'm serious. I can tell you for a fact. Look, I have almost all the popular collections of hadith books they have. I have it. I can show you the collection of hadith books I have. I have almost all their hadith books. It's nonsensical. I'm serious. Let me see if I can share this. You see it. I don't know. Yeah. These are all hadith books. Look. All these ones I put here, they are hadith books. I don't know. How can I zoom it? I actually zoom it. Yeah. Oh. Not big enough. We have Jami al-Tirmidhi. We have Sahih al-Bukhari, Sahih Muslim. I can give an example. Let me do this. Maybe people can see how many books. I have a lot of the hadith books, right? It's totally nonsensical. So they're garbages, right? I'll actually advise people to burn such books instead of wasting your time to say you're burning the Quran. You're wasting your time when you burn the Quran, because these mushriks, they don't study the Quran anyway. So why burn the Quran? Go and burn their books, the ones they are using to manipulate the masses, right? That's the ones you need to burn, not the Quran. Quran, leave it, because they don't study it anyway. So don't burn that one. You're wasting your time. So let me share this. You see some of the hadith books here. For instance, this is one of their books here, Sahih Muslim. Inside the Sahih Muslim, I go to the maybe front, the starting. This is Sahih Muslim here. You see the hardcover, that's how it is. Everything about the book here. You see, this is volume 7. I have from volume 1 to 9. And Sahih Bukhari, I have volume 1 to 9. Jami al-Tirmidhi, I have volume 1 to 9. I have all the hadith books. I study them as well. Because in order to face your enemy, you need to know their weakness as well. You don't just sit home and say, oh, you need to know. So when they come to the battlefront to face me, I make them look stupid. Yes, I can make them look stupid. And that is why when they see correctional officer, they are frustrated. God chose me. I didn't choose myself. Right? So now, the concept here is it a problem saying EID Mubarak? If somebody tells you EID Mubarak, there's nothing wrong. It's just saying EID Mubarak. Just like when somebody says, Mohammed, you are here watching, huh? Yeah. Because if guys, if you are here, just type to me if I'm not making sense concerning what I said, right? Why will the pagans or the atheists or the other people who don't believe in Islam, right? Why do you waste your time burning the Quran? Because look, if you go to burn the Quran, the mushriks and sectarians, they don't study it anyway. Why burn it? Why burn a book somebody doesn't study it? Go and take the books they study, which is hadith books. Go and burn that one instead. The Quran is on a peaceful shelf. Don't burn it. Don't waste your time burning, because if you burn, they don't study it. Leave it for those who are studying. We will study it. We don't harm you. We are not a threat to you. The ones studying those hadith books, go and burn such books. Those are the dangers. These people can give you free copy of Quran and sell hadith books to you up to more than 300 euros, right? Hadith book. Good. So the point I was making concerning EID Mubarak, if somebody says EID Mubarak to you, there's no problem with that, right? It's just a saying EID Mubarak, just like somebody saying Merry Christmas. The word Merry is to celebrate something. Christmas means the birth of Christ. There's nothing wrong saying Merry Christmas. It's just like saying Happy Birthday to somebody. Somebody celebrating birthday, Happy Birthday. You wishing somebody doesn't mean you are celebrating it. Now, let's get out of this nonsensical ignorance, thinking that when somebody is having a birthday and I say Happy Birthday, it means I'm celebrating with him. That's arrant nonsense. Understand the word celebration. When you are celebrating, let me give you here. I put it here for you. We go here. First meaning and then second meaning. Here we go. Yeah. So I shared a screen. Let me show you something here. So we talk about celebration. When we say celebration, a joyful occasion for special festivities to mark some happy events, right? Or we say the public performance of a sacrament, or we say or solemn ceremony with all appropriate ritual, right? Now, so somebody saying EID Mubarak to you, right? You in your head. Now, this is how I break it down so that you understand this point very well. One time I did a favor to somebody, right? And the person is a Christian. And the person told me, yeah, thank you very much. Somebody agrees with the claim I made. Yeah. So I helped this lady. She needed help and I helped her, right? And she wanted to buy something from the shop. So I helped her to buy the shop. I've actually had these several encounters. I've done it to an atheist before, and then they told me they don't believe in God. But at the end, she said, then tell your God, I say thank you, or something like that. Because I told her I did a favor to her because of God. And then she said, I don't believe in God, but tell your God. I said, thank you. But then I did it to another, to another lady who is actually a Christian. And then after the favor, she said, may the good Lord bless you. Now, I know from her perspective, when she said, may the good Lord bless you, I know she might be referring to Jesus according to her understanding, or the Trinity according to her understanding. You see, so she said, may the good Lord bless you. But to my understanding, I know who the Lord is. That is Rabbul Alameen, Lord of the universe, Lord of the heavens and the earth. That's what I know as the Lord, right? But her understanding of may the Lord bless me is different. You see? So me agreeing to the claim she makes doesn't mean I'm also a worshiper of Jesus. She doesn't mention Jesus. She said, may the good Lord bless you. So what I want you to understand is, if somebody says EID Mubarak, your understanding of what EID Mubarak means has nothing to do with what they actually they are actually indoctrinated with. You answering somebody EID Mubarak is never a problem. What does it mean? I gave you the meaning in the beginning. And also, you telling somebody Merry Christmas or Happy Birthday doesn't mean you are celebrating it. Understand this difference. So me wishing you say Merry Christmas, there's nothing wrong. What is the meaning of Merry Christmas? Celebrating, that is a merry making. So celebrating, what they are celebrating is a merry making. Then you said Xmas, which is the birth of Christ. That's it. It doesn't mean you are celebrating it, right? But now somebody will say, if they invite me to go and eat, can I eat too? I don't see any problem eating with somebody, so far as you don't go to the religious act they are doing. For instance, you don't go to their Eid Salat because it's not part of Islam. Is it part of the Quran? No. But to sit down and eating with people, I don't see any problem with that. The Quran doesn't forbid that, right? But now what you need to understand is concerning the Salat they've put down for themselves, concerning certain things they put down for themselves to actually put it part of Islam, that is what you have to avoid yourself from. Right? Because then you become a mushrik if you obey them. So somebody will say, how does that make me a mushrik? What you need to understand is, I take you to Quran chapter 6, verse 121. How you become a mushrik by just agreeing with certain people on certain understandings they have can make you a mushrik because you obey what they are telling you. Right? So I'm sharing the screen. Let's see what it says here. Present, share the screen, go to the Quran. Yeah. So Quran chapter 6, verse 121. And do not eat from that upon which the name of God has not been mentioned. For indeed, it is immoral, right? And indeed, the devils will inspire to their allies to argue with you. And if you obey them, you will indeed become what? Idolaters or polytheists or mushriks, because then you are associating partners with the rule of God, right? Meaning they are trying to give you certain rules and instructions which are not actually coming from God. So according to their own scholars, they will just tell you the Eid al-Fitr, the Salat they go is just a nafila. Nafila means it's not compulsory on you. It's just a superfluous, right? So if it is a nafila, why force yourself to say, oh, in the morning I have to go to the Eid? How? You understand? When you understand the notion of feast is not haram by itself. To just eat with people, it's not haram by itself. But to go to the extent, including that in Islam, that is where the problem is. Because that is a legislation, people have put it down, added it to Islam, which is not part of Islam. I'm not saying anything is wrong with celebrating a feast, eating a feast. No, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so let's focus here. So Said says, Brother Shuaib, may I suggest that educating people the history of Hadith and how it was created in 3 centuries after the Prophet, how the Magi, Jews, Christian, and Umayyad dynasty and Abbasid dynasty collaborated to change the deen of Islam for political and power to make people obedient to the Khalifas. Since they couldn't change the Quran, they focused on creating a bogus Hadith so they can what? mislead the poor Muslims and conspired with them. Ulama created madrasa and found them and killed those. Yeah. Now I have a video called History of the Hadith and its authenticity. Is it on my, I think, on my YouTube channel. I did it with Alaja Africa, right? It's about, I think, almost 2 hours or 2 hours. You'll find a video that I spoke about the hadith and how it came about, especially Imam Bukhari, right? So the point is, look, trying to devote your time to study certain things, which actually I will advise that you rather use the time to study the Quran. Don't waste your time going to study certain things which are irrelevant to your guidance, right? Pay attention to the Quran instead. Devote your whole time. Look, hadith books, they will mess up your head. I'm serious. Hadith books are way difficult even than understanding the Quran. Have you ever met an hadith scholar before? They are confused. I'm serious. Right? Now, so let's see what I'm missing here. Qudisiyya says the Muslim hadith are similar to the Jewish and oral traditions known as Talmud. Yeah, they are. The hadith is similar with what they call Talmud, right? Yes, Fatima says Allah is the guardian of the Quran. Yes, He is the guardian of it. Kitab Maknun is a protected book. Quran chapter 56, verse 77 to verse 78. It tells you, Innahu la Quran al-Karim fi kitab Maknun la yamassu illa al-mutahharun. Right? Yeah. So let me see what I'm missing here. Hadith followers are the definition of confused. Yes, they are. They are confused. They are confused. You see me when I'm talking to them on correctional officers then. So they are full of mess. They are full of mess, right? So that is why I prefer to set them up as scapegoats. I know a lot of people are learning the way I handle them, and there are people, when you're dealing with them, they can try to get on your nerves. So being patient is very relevant when you're dealing with an hadithiyun mushrik or somebody who is mentally enslaved to the concept of hadith books. You have to exercise enough patience to be able to even correspond with them. Yeah. Okay, so let me put the number above. I'll be... Sorry, I missed one thing. They will mention something like Zakatul Fitr, right? They will say that the charity or the charity of the breaking fast. So they will tell you Zakatul Fitr when before the Eid prayer, try to come and bring your 2.5%, come and give donation, come and give the Zakat and do this and do that. Bring your gold, let's calculate it for you and tax you. No, please. In Islam, there's nothing called Zakat al-Fitr. It's not there. You waited Ramadan. The month of Ramadan is the month of doing good deeds. Use that month to do charity works. Not when it's ended, then you say Zakat al-Fitr. Nothing like that. Don't waste your time. Nothing of that sort. Don't waste your time. Right? For instance, just a few days ago, I sent money to my brother so that he will buy, go and give people food, like the food items, right? So the main plan was to give some of the old people who still have the notion of the Eid in their head concerning that concept. So, however, unfortunately, something went wrong. So what he did is he has to go to the later time to buy it. So he went, yesterday, to actually buy this item to give them, right? So he was concerned that he couldn't go on time because of this inconvenience which happened because somebody was sick. So then I told him, no, not to worry. It's about my concept of feeding people. Was not actually because of what? How do you call it? The Eid. No, it's about Ramadan, but the intention is there. People who actually donated, they have the intention of donation. So now the objective has been met, right? And I'm waiting to even put some of the pictures again on GoFundMe. But then what people don't understand is the month is there for the good deeds. So you waited and you want the month to end before you do your good deeds, and you say Zakat al-Fitr. I don't get it. Zakat al-Fitr from who? Who actually give you this legislation? Where? God asked you to establish the salat and give the what? Zakat. Zakat is something you give in order to purify your own soul. To understand that, you go to Quran chapter 92, verse 17 to verse 21. Right? So let's see here. I share the screen and let's see. That is Surah Al-Layl. And I'll be putting the number to allow questions to come in, right? So let me share the screen here. Here. But the most pious will shield from it. What is that? Hellfire, right? Who gives his wealth to purify, that is to purify himself. Yatazakka. So the most pious, they are the ones who give his wealth to purify. Yatazakka. You see here? Allazi yuti malahu yatazakka. So giving of the wealth is to purify yourself. Now, how does that work? Zakat is different from alms. When we say alms, we are talking about the Sadaqa, right? Alms. The zakat is the money you give in silence, privately, to purify your own nafs. So let's understand this. I'll give you the notion of Sadaqa here. Who gives his wealth to purify, that is himself, and not for someone next to him to repay with a what? A favor. We have people who will give zakat just to get a favor, right? In private, you come to somebody for help. He helps you just to get a favor from you, right? Then verse 20, except seeking the countenance of his Lord the highest, right? The Lord the highest. And he will surely be what? Pleased. So you're doing it for the sake of God to purify yourself, and that is zakah. So God wants you to establish the salat. Salat is the act of remembrance of God, as he told Musa alayhi salam, Quran chapter 20, verse 14, right? Then your zakat is the money you give in silence, in privacy. Many a times, when people do give me donation, or when I organize GoFundMe and people give donation, I have most cases where people will send me a private message. Like people sometimes I know, back then I know maybe Ghana or other countries like Nigeria or other countries like who actually get in touch with me. If I have some funds available, I do help people out. The reason is I have people who have donated to a cause, but that doesn't mean just because I have money available and I can see people struggling, then I'll just ignore them and say, oh no, I have this cause. So I do give and help out people to solve out their own issue. But that is if I'm convinced with their issues as well. Now, guess what? All this money there's a blessing for the one who actually donated initially, but I will get a blessing for playing my role as a mediator. I'll get my blessing from that, right? By playing that role. But because there's a trust between the host donating and the cause I'm using it for, we all get the blessing thereof. Now, what happens is some people will give with the intention of zakah, right? But now I'm going to decipher to show you the notion of Sadaqa, how it works, right? Now, so we go to Quran chapter 9, verse 60. That is Surah At-Tawbah. So we say Sadaqat or Sadaqa. Sadaqa is a singular form. Sadaqat is the plural form. So they are another form of charity, but we don't classify it with the zakah. The zakah is maybe I'm sitting down, somebody will just come to me privately, right? So it doesn't need to be in a group. Then again, out of the list, for instance, the GoFundMe I organize, we have what we call the Sadaqa. There's a Sadaqa there. So people are giving contribution. We join them together. Then we go together to change people's life or make people happy. That is the Sadaqa there. Then out of the Zakah is what you give privately to people who come to you directly to ask for help. That is the zakat, because you are giving the person not for a favor. You are giving because of God, to purify your own self. So that is the zakat there. Now, when we say sadaqat, they are the alms or charities are only for the needy. So innama, the word innama here used in that verse, innama sadaqat lil fuqara'i wal masakin. Then he says what? Wal amilina alayha. Those the workers who are over that money. So what happens is the charities are only for the needy, the fuqara, then the poor people, which is masakin. Then we have the workers over it, the workers who are working for the charities, right? Over the charities, because they are to distribute the donations and whatever, right? So then, and those whose hearts are what? Are composed. And among the what? This word rikabi is not exactly what we call the ibad law, like a slave, as in slave. This is the form of a restricted person, a person who is restricted for certain reasons, not like a slave as in the one who is what? Like taken in the captive of war or something. So this rikab is another form of slavery, but you are restricted because you cannot do something maybe because of the issues you are in. So that is the restricted person. This is the rikab. Then we have the debtors, people who are in debt, right? And as well as what? In the way of God. So for the cause of God, you can give charity. And then the wayfarer, somebody who is stranded on the way, right? Is stranded on the way. You find them on the way and they are begging you for help or some food or something. So it becomes as an obligation from God. So it's faridatun min Allah. It's an obligation. So, and God is omniscient and wise. So now come in here. When I organize GoFundMe, the main purpose, the goal is for what? Sadaqa, charity. So people who can donate. When people donate, the objective is I get group of people back in Ghana and I give them the job to actually go and distribute these food items. Sometimes, depending on the situation, we also add money depending on the situation the person is in, right? We help out. Like, for instance, there was a blind woman whom I was able to take from the donation, and we paid for her 1 year rent back in Ghana, right? So imagine a blind woman who is jobless and she's living in an apartment and she cannot pay for her rent. But how will other people who are actually giving the donation know such people? You will not know. So me knowing, when I organize such events, you donate, then I can help out with these issues. So in these issues, we call them the sadaqat. They are charities. So these charities, they come in together. Then this target of the people are for the needy, the poor people, and then the workers who are working over it. So the people I assign, right? For instance, there is this brother, Tanko Banama, and then there is another brother, my elder brother who is back there, Razak. So I put them these duties. I give them these duties. They go out and distribute these items. After that, they also get their own share of whatever I want to give them as a working they are doing from that same Sadaqa. You understand? So the verse says the workers over this cause of Sadaqa. And it says, and those whose hearts are composed, they are also supposed to be helped out of this Sadaqa. Then among the rikab, the restricted people, the debtors, people who are in debt, should be helped with the same money of the Sadaqa. Do you see how it works? As well as the way of God. It can be used for the cause of God as well, right? For instance, I've had one good brother of mine who actually donated to the cause, but he told me, brother, I want you to use this money for this cause. You understand? Somebody, he donated, right? And told me, this is what I want you to use it for the cause of God. So these are all classified under the Sadaqa. And then the wayfarer, somebody, like I said, somebody who is wabna sabil, somebody stranded on the way, you decide to help them on the way. You find them, you don't know them, but you decided to help. It's an obligation from God, so you know how it works. So these are the difference between the sadaqat, and then we have the zakat. The zakat, you do it personally to purify your own soul. So God wants you to establish the salat and give the zakat. So the zakat is for the humanity, for the benefit and betterment of humanity. That is sadaqah and zakat. Then your salat is to have the remembrance of God, to be aware of God. These things are to keep you in connection with God till you leave the earth, right? These two things. So when you go to Quran chapter 98 verse 5, to summarize this, Quran chapter 98 verse 5. Oh, sorry. Why? Where am I heading to? Yeah. It says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. So, and they were not commanded except to what? To worship or serve God, sincerely devoting to Him the what? The true religion. That is the Orthodox religion. Din Hunafa. Now, something which is rightly accepted, orthodoxly, right? Which is the Hunafa. That is the true one. That is why we call Ibrahim Hanifa. Then he says, establishing what? The what? The salat, the litany, and giving the what? The charity. That is the zakat. And that is the valuable religion, right? Good. So that is dinul qayyima. So this is what God requires of you. That is the epitome of your faith, right? Sincerely devoting your deen to God. That is number one. Establishing your salat, which is between you and God, because this is something which keeps you in remembrance of God constantly. Then we have the what? The act of helping the needy around you, the poor people around you. That is the zakat, because you want to purify your own nerves as well. You see, so this makes your deen complete. Now let me see what I'm missing here. So Prince Hazel says, please, can you educate us about the 6th fasting after Ramadan? Is it necessary or rewardable by God? That is the Sitta, they call it Sitta Shawwal or something. The sit in Arabic is 6. So Sit Shawwal. So they say Sit Shawwal. So that's 6 days of Shawwal. They say they are escorting or accompanying the Siyam, the month of Ramadan away. This is not Quranic. This is not Islamic even. This is a concept coming from the Hadith books. And I keep telling you, Hadith books has nothing to do with Islam. Pay attention. Al-Islam of the Quran, God completed it. And let me show you the verse. Quran chapter 5 verse 3. Suratul Ma'idah. Suratul Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 3. I can share the screen for you. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Let me maximize this because it's gone too small to see. Okay, 400. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't expect this to jump from where. Okay, so I shared a screen. Let's see the verse here. Quran chapter 5 verse 3, right? The upper side of the verses are talking about what is lawful for you to eat and not to eat, what kind of animal, right? Then it goes. The middle side of the verse, it starts with today, Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Today or this day, I have perfected what? Your religion for you, or I have completed your religion for you, right? Now, when I mention the word religion, in this concept, we are talking about believing in a supernatural being who controls your destiny. That is faith. So that is the deed we are talking about here, right? So sometimes when you mention the word religion, some people will think, oh, you are just talking about. I will even have people who say, oh, I don't believe in religion. It depends what you define religion to be, right? Understand that. So I have perfected your religion for you and completed my blessing upon you, and have approved the submission, which is al-Islam, as a what? As a deen, as a religion for you. It's a faith for you. But whoever is compelled during hunger without being inclined to sin, then indeed God is forgiving and merciful. Now, so God completed the deen, and we can see it in the Quran. It's complete. We don't have any sitta shawwal there. So where from the notion of Sita Shawwal coming? Who brought it? Who added it to Islam? There is a problem. So I will not advise you to partake in something when it comes to the matters of the deen which God hasn't actually ordained for you, right? But other than that, any other fasting you want to do after Ramadan, that's up to you. So far as you don't try to assign it to Islam and say, oh, this is part of Islam, then you are okay, right? Aha. Tuji says this one they measure cup of rice or maize and place like vascular 80 rupees. Oh, why is somebody? Tuji, I understand your point. That's the Zakatul Fitr. So Ajayi says, are you saying ED prayers are of human creation as they have no Quranic backing? Yes, I said so. Anybody who tells you they have Quranic backing, let them prove it. Let them give you a verse, right? He says, how I wish those that not exposed enough in Africa to receive true lecture about Islam. Yes, time will tell. Let's see. He says they only taught us the melody and recitation aspect of the Quran. Yes, emphatically. There are lots of people or mushriks, I would say, who are willing to learn if they eventually come across true lectures and guidance. I'm only concerned about the numbers of people going astray. Majority will go astray. The reason is because they hate the truth. Quran chapter 43 verse 78. God says, we have brought you the truth, but most of you hate the truth. Surah Al-Zukhruf, right? Chapter 43 verse 78. So the notion of truth is not just for everybody to handle. It's difficult. Not everybody wants to hear the truth. Let me see. I can share the screen. Let's see the verse. Quran chapter 43 verse 78. He says, we have certainly brought you the truth, but most of you hate the truth. I'm not saying it. God is saying it. Most people hate the truth. They don't like that concept of truth, right? So that is the problem with speaking the truth. Yeah, people don't like the truth, right? They don't like the truth. So that is the problem. Now, let me put the number. For those who want to call, you can call. There's a WhatsApp number there on the page down there. For those who want to call, you can call to ask your question. I have 30 minutes more to drop the topic. If you have anything pertaining to the topic at hand, you can ask. Other than that, I'll just read the comments and then we bring the topic to an end. Like I told you, I'm about 80% recovered from the blockage, the sinus getting blocked, 80%. So regularly I have to take my medication so that I can be back 100%. But I know, inshallah or mashallah, you guys have enjoyed the lecture so far because I've been able to flow without getting, stuck up. But let me read some of the comments before somebody calls. Let's see. It says, Salam alaikum, Sheikh. Is it necessary to be fasting Mondays and Thursdays? I don't see anything wrong with that, right? If you want to do it, not attributing it to God and say God says this or prophet says we should do this, then it's fine. Nothing is wrong with that. The prayer of Eid is far different from the way they perform or other prayers. This is one of the things which shows the Eid concept is choosing and picking. Exactly. It is not Quranic and it's not Islamic. Mutala Muhammad says, babashuaib, can you please educate us about the Prophet Muhammad? Was he married? Does he beget children? He does have children. Yes, he was married. And if you read Quran, let's see, even if you go to Quran, let me summarize this. If you go to Quran chapter 33, verse 59, and I'll share the screen, let's see. Quran chapter 33, verse 59. He says, "Oh, you prophet," right? "Oh, you the prophet, tell your wives." He has what we call azwajika. He has what? Wives. And then he says, "Your daughters," right? He has daughters. So in Arabic, he says, "Ya you nabi kul lil azwajika." You see the ka here, it denotes a singular pronoun, which is a second person pronoun, right? Or a first person, pronoun, or we can say second person. Then he says, "Wabanatika," and your daughters. He's talking to him. So he has daughters, he had daughters, and he had wives. Yes. So the prophet was married with wives and he had daughters, but he never spoke about him having a male child. So let's see this verse. I take you to Quran, the same chapter, verse 40. Oh, sorry. I go back. Yeah. Where it says, "Ma kana Muhammadun aba ahadi min rijalikum walakin Rasulallahi wa khataman nabiyyin." It says, Muhammad is not the father of anyone among your men. He is not the father of anyone among your men. He doesn't have a male child. However, he has an adopted child, which is Zaid, according to Quran chapter 33, verse 37, in that same chapter, right? So he is the prophet of God. He had daughters, he has wives, but no mention of him having a male child. So this verse makes it clear, right? He's not the father of any man among your men, right? Good. And then he says people have been indoctrinated and have been passed down through socialization for years. So it is hard. Yes, that is indoctrination. I have a lecture called Indoctrination in Religion, right? You have to watch it. And thanks to God, now my lectures will be very clear enough, sound quality in check, everything check. So I'll get to repeat some of my old lectures that I did so people can catch up, right? People can enjoy. And you can see today I didn't play any background music because I wanted to try the notion of not playing any, classic music behind. So to see how people can focus, because some people said they are distracted when they put it on a speaker or watch me on a computer. They seem to lose track. So I decided not to play any background, right? Thank you very much, Fatima Chin. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. I have like less than 30 minutes to drop, so kindly bring in your questions or type before I go. So eating dog meat is forbidden to we Muslim or not? This actually brought it indifference in Nigeria here. Please educate us. Now I take you back to Quran chapter 5 verse 3, right? Let me take you to Quran chapter 5 verse 3. Suratul Ma'idah. I'm going to put the verse. Let me see. Is it showing? Yeah, it's showing here. So the brother is asking about eating dog meat. That is it forbidden? Let's see if it will be classified as forbidden or not. So God says, unlawful to you is dead. Oh, sorry. Unlawful to you is dead animal. When we say maitatu, something which dies by itself, right? Then we say damu, that is blood. Blood is forbidden for you to drink or even eat blood. We have people who eat blood. Even in the country I'm based right now, we have people who cook blood and eat it. They make it into balls. They make it like a clot, and boil it or fry it and eat. It is forbidden for you to eat because there could be, diseases and other things, viruses in the blood. You have to be aware of that. So it's forbidden to. We have people who actually drink blood. And I would tell people to refrain when you injure your hands and you are drinking your own blood. According to the sectarian, some of them will say, oh, it's sunnah, the prophets, whatever. Don't do that. It's forbidden for you to do that because it's being exposed. It can be contaminated. There's disease already flying in the air. So when you do this, you are taking in a new bacteria, disease into yourself. So blood is forbidden. Then God says the meat of what? The pig, right? The meat of pig is forbidden because it's dirty, it's bad for you. And what has been offered to other than what? God. So any meat or any animal which has been slaughtered, but it has been dedicated to other than God, refrain from it. Don't take such an animal, right? It's forbidden for you, right? Then he says, and the strangled animal, an animal which has been strangled till it died, is forbidden for you to eat. The fatally ill animal, an animal which is fatally ill, may it be it has some disease and is dying slowly. So that's a fatally ill animal, right? You have to avoid it. The deteriorated animal. We have an animal which is very, has gone in a bad shape. You understand? Very, very bad shape. Don't eat that because it might have problems as well. The battered animal, an animal you smash it with something. Boom! You strike it with a wood or hammer or something. Don't eat that. And that which the predatory beast has eaten. For instance, you see the beast, the lion, the hyenas, the wild dogs, they eat certain animals. You don't need to go and take it and eat because it can be contaminated because of wild animals, they have diseases. They can have certain sickness with them. When they eat such meat, you go and take it and no. Then God says, except what you slaughter. So exception of the animal you slaughter, all these things mentioned, they are not good for you to eat, right? So except what you slaughter, right? Then he says, but do not what? Do not sacrifice for an idol or a monument. Like when you go to the traditional shrines, the spiritualists and the other things, they have a shrine where they slaughter animals, especially those based in Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, Benin, Togo. You know about this, right? They slaughter animals, chicken or goats. They slaughter it, and then they pour the blood on the stone or something, right? To make it for an idol or something. Those type of meats, they are forbidden for you, right? To conjure, so they use that blood, they pour it, and then they conjure with divination arrows. That is in a spiritual purpose. And God says that is immoral for you, right? So those things are forbidden. Now, coming to your question, brother, Prince, he says eating dog meat is forbidden to we Muslim or not? So he wants to know, is it forbidden? Now, you see, dog is an animal with this claws, right? It has the claws. You can never tame a dog where you put it down and slaughter it like the way you slaughter a sheep, a cow, a camel, a goat. You can't do the same. It's difficult, right? So how do you slaughter a dog? You have to batter it. You have to strike it. You have to shoot it. You understand? If it falls in the criteria of chapter 5, verse 3, an animal you cannot slaughter, you cannot eat it at that given time. But it doesn't say directly that dog is haram. No. But however, let's say the dog is in a condition whereby you think it can be slaughtered. If only it can be slaughtered, then it's not haram for you. So I hope you get the clarity of the breakdown I'm giving you. Directly saying it is haram, no, it is not. But however, if you can slaughter it without going against the criteria I've given in chapter 5, verse 3, then that's up to you. Right? So hope you get the clarity on that. So now, Tuji says what? Is there any verse in the Quran that talk about coming of any imam or devil or Isa bin Maryam? No. No such verse in the Quran. They are lying to you a lot. No such a verse. babashuaib, is zakat or charity only limited to giving Muslim? No, it's not. God never said give your charities only to Muslims. It never says so. You are helping humanity. It's not about Islam or Christian. No, humanity. These are what charity is for. Remember, the Quran is to serve as a guidance for mankind. God could have said the Quran is only for believers, right? But he said mankind. So even an atheist can benefit from the Quran, right? And so goes charity. An atheist can benefit from charity. It doesn't have to be limited to Muslims. So God doesn't say that. Murtala Muhammad says, babashuaib, how many biological children and how many wives did the Prophet had? Please educate us. My answer to you is this is not part of Islam. This is not part of the Quranic guidance. And this is not part of Islam. How many wives Prophet had is irrelevant. How many children he has is irrelevant. The deed is not about the Prophet, but instead about God. So you want to know about God? Yes, Quran will teach you. About the Prophet, go and ask the Arabs. If you're willing to learn, that's up to them. Just like if you want to know about the president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, you can go and ask Ghanaians, right? I'm a Ghanaian. You can ask me about him. Then I can tell you. But other than that, what has nothing to do with me, listen, Islam concerning the prophets, don't be interested in that. Did Jesus die as per the Quran? Yes. Depending on how you describe the word die in Arabic language. I have a lecture on that. It's on my YouTube channel. I think what's the title? Did Jesus die or not? I have the title there. It's on my YouTube channel, right? You can check it out. Yeah. So I have 15 minutes more to go. The number is there. You're willing to ask question, fine. You want to type, fine. You want to come as a guest. Let me see if I can put the invite as a guest. Yeah. I put the link. That is just if you want to come as a guest on YouTube, you want to come as a guest link, you can come. You want to come on Facebook, that's the link, guest, you can come. You're welcome. Join and ask your relevant questions before I go. Oh, by the way, one good sister gave me a video. I have to play the video, right? Let me play this video concerning one video. I think is it Anwar Sheikh shared that video, right? Concerning this man.
Hadith is something that Allah has preserved along.
Yeah, salam. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello? Hello?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Your name and where you're calling from.
Mr. Babashuaib, this is Murtala Muhammad calling from Ghana.
Murtala Muhammad, you were just on the program watching, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I see you. Nice to meet you. How may I help you?
Please, I want to be clear about the prophet and about what you were speaking about Quran chapter 33, verse 40.
Yeah.
You said the prophet had adopted children. You spoke about that a few ago.
I didn't say that.
Hello?
I did not say it the way you are saying it.
Okay, please, can you clear it about chapter 30?
No, finish making your claim. I don't wait. Finish making your points because I don't want to repeat myself at once like that. So tell me what is your point you want to make, then I can correct you.
Okay, you remember I asked about if the prophet was married, you remember?
I know.
And if he had children.
Yes,
So you confirm the point in chapter 33, verse 40 that he had adopted children.
I didn't say adopted children.
Okay, can you please clear it up?
I said adopted child.
Adopted child, only one child.
That's what the Quran speaks about.
Okay, can you educate us about his
I gave the reference on that. Quran chapter 33, verse 37, right? Surah Al-Ahzab,
Yes.
chapter 33, verse 37. It mentioned,
So
it made the reference of his adopted child. That is Zaid there.
the name is Zaid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about his wives?
His wives? Quran mentioned that he has wives, yes.
So how many?
Huh?
How many wives?
It's not specific. Quran didn't say he has 3 or 4 or 5. Nah. But he has more than 2, according to the way God says. He mentioned his wives. He has more than 2. Yeah.
He has more than 2.
Yeah.
So why didn't the Quran reveal?
Reveal what?
His wife's name, and the Quran revealed that his child is Zaid, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm asking, the Quran said that he had one child, which is Zaid, right?
The Quran doesn't say he has one child. Choose your words carefully. That is adopted child.
Okay. And the adopted child is Zaid.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Okay, so if the Quran mentions Zaid, why didn't the Quran mention his wife's name in there?
Okay, we come to that. The point is, Zaid, the reason why he mentions Zaid, because there is the notion of marrying the ex-wife of his adopted child. And God showed us the difference in Quran chapter 33. If you read the whole chapter, he made you understand concerning how your adopted children are not the same as your biological children. Right? And when Zaid finished with his wife, God made the prophet marry the wife. So that was to pass on a legislation there. That is why Zaid's name came into the picture. But it is irrelevant for God to mention the prophet's wife's names. What do we need the names for? You tell us. What do you need the names for?
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said, what do you need the names of the wives of the prophet? What do you need it for? How is it supposed to help you?
Well, I was just thinking that if the Quran can make it clear that Zaid comes in the picture, then why can't if he had at least 2 wives, why isn't the Quran mentioned about at least one of his wives or so? Something should have clear about that in there.
Okay. Do you realize Adam had a wife?
Yes, right.
Do you know her name was not mentioned in the Quran?
Hawa.
It's not mentioned in the Quran. Do you know?
Hawa is not mentioned in the Quran.
If it is, show me. Give me the verse.
No, I don't know.
Okay. Do you know Ibrahim's wife has been mentioned? Her story is in the Quran.
That's Abraham, right?
Yes. But do you know his wife's name has not been mentioned?
Right.
What about Musa alayhi salam? His wife has been mentioned. Her story is there. But did they mention her name? The answer is no. So what do you actually need the name? But when it came to Maryam, because God has a lesson concerning Maryam, he mentioned her name because he wants you to know the lesson behind that name and then the entity. So he mentioned the name. So what Quran gives you is relevance. That's what you are looking for. You are not looking for irrelevant informations.
So are you saying this information is irrelevant?
Which information?
About the prophet's wives.
So you tell me her name, the names of the prophet's wife. How is it relevant to your guidance? You tell us.
So it's not accurate. It's not a good question to know your prophet's wife's names. In case someone who doesn't know maybe says you are a Christian, can you tell me the name of your prophet's wife? Maybe a question of that nature is posed. How do you answer?
Muhammad, Mutala Muhammad.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Your great-great-grandfather, has he existed on earth before?
My great-great-grandfather?
Yes.
I don't understand.
You don't understand the simple English I just asked you?
No, I don't come clear.
Okay. Your great-great-grandfather, he existed on earth, right?
Who was he?
I'm asking you. He existed on earth, right?
I only know my great grandfather.
I'm not asking about what you know. I say your great-great-grandfather, he existed on earth. If he didn't, you wouldn't be here. So the answer is logically say yes.
Yes, definitely.
Good. Do you know his wife's name?
No, I don't.
Why don't you know?
Because I've not asked into detail. If I had asked, I'm sure I would have known.
Okay, please, when you find out that name, you come back and ask me about the prophet's wife's name.
Oh no, my sister is closer. I can just.
Okay, just ask your sister and come back. Thank you, Mutala Mohammed. Let another person call, okay? Thank you. Salam
Thank you,
alaikum.
sir.
Yeah, peace.
Right, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so another caller is calling Musaddiq. Oh. Yeah, call so I can pick up. Somebody's call is coming. Can you call again? Okay, Musaddiq is calling. Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, babashuaib. You make my day so delight. So like there is a nation saying, I don't know if it's Quranic or this and hadith, that Allah do what he wants to do. So like for me, a lot of people say, okay, if Allah can do what he wants to do to any place, or maybe if Allah wanted to enter in hell or Allah wants to enter in paradise, he can decide to enter. So a lot of people have the notion, okay, let me don't pray, let me don't do this, let me don't do this. By then Allah will decide what's your take towards the Quranic based on that particular thing that is maybe the Quran or maybe Hadith or scholars are saying concerned about this.
If I got your point right, can you rephrase your statement again? Because I want to see what the exact point. Yeah.
Yes, I said there is a notion going that I don't know if it's Quranic verse or maybe it's just an hadith or maybe the scholar just pretend to do like that. There's a notion saying that Allah wishes to do what he wants to do. So people have the ideology, okay, if Allah says so, then if I go to hell, it's the wish of Allah. If I can go to hell, it's the wish of Allah. So a lot of people say, okay, let me just fold my hands, don't pray, don't give zakat, don't do this. So if Allah wants me to enter in hell, then I can enter it because it's the wish of Allah. So what's your take towards this? Is it a Quran? How can you define when somebody having this kind of ideology? How can you try to compose and understand exactly what Allah is trying to say on this?
Yeah, thank you for your question. Actually, those things they told you, they never backed up those claims with a verse of the Quran to tell you this is what God says. They are only saying, if you go to hell, it's the wish of God. If you go to paradise, that's not the wish of God. That's not how it works. So let's see how it works. Quran chapter 7, verse 179, right? Let me put it on the screen. Quran chapter 7, verse 179. And we have certainly seeded for hell of jinns and humans, right? Now, when you seed something, you have been told that humans and jinns will go to hell. Now, that is the seeding. But as for to say God has willed for this one to go to hell and this one to go to paradise, we are going to find out why people go to hell, right? They have hearts by which they what? They do not what? Comprehend. They have eyes by which they do not what? See. They have ears by which they do not what? Listen. Those are like livestock. In fact, they are more astray. They are those who are heedless. Now, the reason why people will go to hell is because they don't want to comprehend what God is saying. They don't want to see what God is saying, and they don't want to listen to what God is telling them. So according to Quran chapter 16, verse 104, let's see why God does not guide people. Why he will not guide people. He says, indeed, those who do not believe in the verses of God, he, God, will not what? Guide them. And they will have what? A painful punishment. Now, the reason why people are trying to tell you that, oh, if you go to hell is the wish of God, if you go to paradise is the wish of, that's not how the will of God works. The will of God works that he wants you to compromise and follow his statements. You don't want to comprehend. You don't want to listen. You don't want to see them. So now he has to punish you. So that is why he says he has seeded for hell many of the what? Humans and jinns. So to seed for hell, meaning you have prepared because you know some people are not willing to compromise. So just like in a government, your country created prisons, right? Are you saying your country wants everybody to go to jail? The answer is no. But the reason why they created the prisons because they know, listen, they know some people will be rebellious. So when you are rebellious, where do you go? They put you behind bars, right?
Yeah.
That is the point.
So another one.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Another, so like, check, I don't know, can you give us a brief description of the word Adam? Because like for me, I read some hadith, of course, okay, Adam mean black, so they get a lot of way how they can define the word Adam, then how it comes about Adam. So I don't know if you have any notion to us, the Quran verse on that.
Well, when you take the notion of Adam, when you take the Quran, God was actually the one who gave him the name Adam. And Adam, when you go, this is not a definition you get in the Quran, but we signify Adam as the first creation of the human race. That is how we define the word Adam. But in the Quran in its own, you will not get the definition where God says, I gave you the name Adam because it means this or that. No. You get the point. And the word Adam has been used just to signify the human being created. That's all I can tell you there.
So like in Arabic form, in the form of Arabic, how can you, is it have another
the name?
Sorry.
Yeah, but the name didn't emanate from Arabic language, right? The name actually was there, right? Since creation, when God created Adam, he gave him that name. So it's not an Arabic name to say, oh, this is the meaning. However, I give an example. When you take the name Mikal in Arabic, Mikal, that is Angel Michael, right? In English, we say Michael. If you go to French, they say Michel. If you go to maybe Spanish or Portuguese, they say Miguel. If you go to maybe German, they can say Michel, something like that. But you can see the same name has different versions. And guess what? When you go to every language, they might have what they define as that. They might have a particular definition for that name based on that language, right? So the name Adam didn't actually emanate from Arabic language. It emanated since Adam, and Adam wasn't an Arabian, right? And God wasn't an Arabian either. So it is just a name, but people can just make a meaning out of it depending on the language.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, brother. Thank you for the call.
All
right. Let me see. Muslima is writing a message here. She said what? Sorry, I'm reading something here. She said, why is the average Muslim so fixated on Muhammad's personality? I wonder why. I wonder. And she said, why don't they extend this curiosity to the Quran itself and ponder on the guidance? Yes, they have to. Why is it seen as a badge of honor to give your child an Arab name when you aren't an Arab? That is another problem. Yeah, that is for people who have watched my program called Mental Slavery, right? I spoke about these issues. Sister Muslima is asking here, right? So people have been indoctrinated wrongly. So they have wrong notion of understanding the purpose of who they are and what they represent. Says, how did they manage to make the hadith about Eid become sahih and widely accepted? Well, this is indoctrination. People can be indoctrinated in every corners of, Fatima Chin, no problem. I will answer the last call, then I'll end the program, inshallah. Brother, can you Please kindly mute on that side, the video you are watching, because it will interrupt.
Hello.
Hello, brother. Your name and where you're
Salam.
salam. Your name and where you're calling from.
I'm Jamal calling from Ghana.
Okay, nice to meet you, Jamal. How may I help you?
Too. I would like to know what do you think about petting a dog at home? Muslims petting a dog at home.
Petting a dog at home, Quran doesn't restrict you from doing that. Quran never said if you even having a dog is not haram. In Quran chapter 18, verse 9 to verse 21, the youth who were in the cave, they were with a dog. And Quran chapter 5, verse 4 gives you the chance to use a dog to go for hunting also. So having a dog in its own, there's no problem. Petting a dog, nowhere did the Quran say it's haram. It's never haram. Whoever tells you it is haram, let him prove it with a verse. So to help you out, let me give you this verse in Quran chapter 16.
Okay, let me write it down. Quran 16.
Verse 116. And I'm going to put the verse on the screen. And then we see what the verse says, right?
Okay.
And do not say a lie by what your tongues describe. This is lawful and this is unlawful. To fabricate a lie about God. Indeed, those who fabricate falsehood about God will not succeed. Now, the reason why I'm giving you this verse, if somebody tells you petting a dog is haram, strictly quote this verse for him, first of all. After quoting this verse, now ask them, where does it say that petting a dog is haram?
Okay.
And they can never prove it. And if they don't prove it, leave them with their whims and desires and go your way.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you
welcome. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've done 2 hours, a bit over. I was supposed to be fixated on 2 hours. I don't want to go too much. But let me read some few things before I go. Somebody says, I don't believe Adam was first human being. Maybe slight mistake. You have to prove it. That's the point. We use the word human being. We depend on how you define the word human being to be. We are talking about, we have in the Quran, there's a word bashar mentioned, and then there's a word insan mentioned, right? So we are talking about insan is, Adam is classified as a human, right? He's a human being. So if you say you don't believe, right? Believing is a choice. If you think you know, then you prove it. You can put a verse, then you explain. That's how you go by knowledge, right? Thank you. Mutala Muhammad. What I'm telling you is that Quran is not about the Prophet Muhammad. Quran is not here to tell you Prophet Muhammad's life or biography. Quran is here so that you know God. Stop making Islam to be about the Prophet. Islam didn't start with Prophet Muhammad. Ibrahim was a Muslim. Musa was a Muslim. Isa was a Muslim. If you don't know, go to Quran chapter 42, verse 13 to verse 14. Right? So I don't know where you are having the notion of that Islam is based on Prophet Muhammad. Look, as a matter of fact, let me simplify this. When it comes to following the creed of someone in Islam, God never asked us to follow the creed of Muhammad. Instead, he said, follow the millata Ibrahim Hanifa, wa ma kana min al-mushrikeen. Right? So stop making Islam about Prophet Muhammad. Do you even have the biography of Abraham? No, it's not there. The one we are following his creed. You don't find his biography in the Quran. So why are you trying to make Islam as if Islam is designed around Prophet Muhammad? I don't get this. I don't want to actually accept the call. My time is up. I don't want to keep going. I kindly apologize for this. I can't accept this call. I want to end the program, right? Sorry about that. Let me read some few comments before I go, right? It says, was there a black prophet of Allah? Because mushrikis often tells me that the prophets were white. Something which makes them not believing in black person contradicting those Arabs. Actually, there's a read history, check through history. Children of Israel, most of them were blacks also. And also, there is no notion of saying, oh, this prophet is white or black. God never doesn't give credence to color, right? However, God speaks about the difference in our colors. If you go to Quran chapter 30, verse 22, it speaks about the difference in our colors, right? But it is not color that God actually uses to symbolize his message. It is the if you're coming from a clan, a tribe, fine. But it is not about black and white prophet. God never talks about somebody being black or white. So these are the indoctrinations people are taking from external sources. It confuses you, right? It says, haha, they are forcing to give a name of the prophet. What Quran says about people who have been misled by others since childhood and died in that condition, like mushrik, misguide many people and died. If you go to Quran chapter 4, verse 97 to 99, it gives you answer to the question you just asked, Musaddiq Jibril, right? Chapter 4, verse 97 to 99. 2G says, will you use it to worship God? Yeah, I wonder if they will use it to worship God, if they know the name of the wife of the prophet or whatever. I don't know. He says, if I'm not mistaken, I hear my brother said Adam's name was mentioned as first human being, but I guess it was slight mistakes. You are still not making a point. Chestas, please make your point, right? If you think there is any first human being's name in the Quran apart from Adam, right? Any first human being name apart from the Adam mentioned, if you have any name, just mention to us and give us a verse. It makes things easy, right? The claim I made is the first human being's name mentioned, right, which God has created. The first one created is Adam. We don't have any human being whose name is there apart from Adam. So if you think there's a human being's name apart from Adam, which was created before Adam, and the name is there, just give us, right? Quran has made Islam simple, but these mushriks, I know, they want to make it difficult, right? Coming back of Jesus Christ to earth, true or false? No, till the day of judgment. He's not coming back. I have the video on it. It's on my YouTube channel, right? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I have to drop the topic here. I've done 2 hours over. I don't want to keep going. I will lose the track. If I stay too much, I will spoil it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the correctional officers then, babashuaib. We spoke about Eid or no Eid. We can see, say EID Mubarak is no problem, but going for the Salatul Eid is actually the notion of being a mushrik because it is not from God, right? But just wishing somebody Eid Mubarak, there's nothing wrong. And what is Eid? It's a feast. You enjoy the meal, you eat together, you sit down. Nothing wrong with that as well. We saw the evidences. Whoever didn't watch the lectures, there will be a replay. You can watch it again and benefit from that. Somebody says, you haven't answered my question. As far as I'm concerned, I've answered a lot of questions. I answered some of your questions. I apologize if I don't get the chance to, to answer every question. I'm a human being, so I can't just see everything. You understand? It will take God to see everything, right? So I apologize for that. But anyways, there will be a next time, inshallah. I'll get to answer your question, inshallah. Thank you all. Thank you very much, Sister Kudisia Ibrahim. We have Nara Power says, we love you. Thank you very much. Thank you, brother. I appreciate all the support. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for everything. I appreciate your presence also. Thank you, Balogun, Babasedu, Salis, Abu Thomas. I know those who watch later, Mawia, Sister Rashida, whoever is here, Sister Muslima, Ajayi, Balogun, Bimbo, Akim, all of you. I appreciate your presence. It does me a lot of good. I appreciate that. Mohammed, I know you're watching. You're here as well. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your presence. And then we keep in touch again next week. I might be on TikTok before I go on Facebook and YouTube Live again, right? So hopefully, God willing, next week I'll be 100% fit, and I'll be able to lecture you free flow, no interruption. Inshallah, we are here to stay. Inshallah. And then last but not the least, lastly but not the least is that next week Saturday I might be doing a program on the Hajj. I'll be talking about Hajj. Last time I spoke about the sacred months, the sacred months, and now we are talking about the Eid. We are going with the flow based on what is going on in our social and general lives and issues. So I'll be talking about the Hajj. That is next week, inshallah. So make it a date, and then we get the benefits of understanding what God says, inshallah. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the correctional officers then coming to an end. Subhana Rabbi Izzati Amma Yasifun. Wassalamu ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Peace be upon you all, and thank you all for coming.